I don't drink soda. Is that one of those little front backpacks?
Yeah, but I wear it on my back.
It's like a tiny backpack.
Is that cool? Like, is it okay? No, is it cool?
Like
to wear it on my back?
I think that might be acceptable. I don't know. You'd have to ask like a Gen Zer. They decide what's cool now. I have no say in it anymore.
Yeah, true. Every time that I'm like around kids, like, you know, I'm around my nieces and nephews, or I'm like maybe at the grocery store and I'm like behind a family in line, I always ask the kid, I'm like, what's cool? What are the kids saying?
Yeah.
What are you listening to? Yeah, what are the cool kids at school talking about?
Give me the rundown on everything that's cool right now.
Gotta keep your finger on the pulse of the kids.
Of the kids.
Of the kids.
They say that the children are our future.
They do? Who's? Like, we all say that? Or does like a particular group say that?
All of the children are our future.
Okay. It's like a collective thing?
Wu-Tang is famously for the children.
Yeah, true.
Although I'm not sure if the children are for Wu-Tang at this point.
You know who else is allegedly for the children is ICEE.
ICEE, of course. It's the coldest drink in town. It's what all the cool kids are drinking.
The cool kids. That was good. Do you want to give us a countdown?
Oh, I thought we were already in.
No.
Oh. 5. I'm going to do something different. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go.
Yo, thank you for tuning into the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Awesome Ty.
Computers here, free candies here. So yeah, the kids are the future, dude.
Yeah. You gotta treat them right. You gotta teach them well. Make sure that they know their arithmetic. You're gonna want to teach them, you know, how to read and write. Probably.
Speaking of, can we mildly dox
select world history? We don't want them knowing everything that happened. You know what I mean?
Certain things.
But yeah, we'll give them.
Do you think that when your kids go to school, you should be able to get like a sheet, like a sandwich, like when you order a sandwich at a deli and it gives you all the toppings? And you get to pick what toppings you want. You check the boxes.
Oh, so I can cancel out certain things that I don't want my child.
You can only teach your kids.
I feel like
things.
Certain states are probably headed for that. Like Florida, that seems like they might already have that in place.
Now, we could edit this out if you don't want this to be public knowledge, but one of your children actually just started charter school. Is that right?
Yeah, kindergarten. So it's a real exciting time for all of us, I guess. Even you. I mean,
it is. I am excited.
My child is the future. Your future.
He's my future.
So, I mean, yeah, it's real exciting for everyone. He just started kindergarten yesterday, actually.
Yeah. And
by the time this comes out, he'll be like a week deep. But
are there like, I wanted to ask you, like, are there any major, I know that he's still in kindergarten, but the charter school goes until like 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
So are there any major differences between like a public school curriculum and a charter school curriculum?
So this is more tailored to your child's, what their strengths and weaknesses. They kind of fine tune the curriculum to make sure that your child, because every child learns different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no cookie cutter child. So they kind of assess, like what your kid does well and what they can improve on. And they kind of make sure they call it, I don't remember exactly what they call it, but it's like there's like 4 different colors that represent like 4 different like styles of learning or whatever.
So they do like a theory of everything type.
Yeah, and they kind of analyze. They make like they call it a kite actually. Okay. So like they kind of assess like, okay, you're 30. There's 4 different colors. You're 30% green. 30% red, 30% yellow. 30% blue, or 10% blue.
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember exactly what each of those stands for, but they, kind of assess where you're at and, say, you don't have the greatest interpersonal skills. You know what I mean? Like they're going to work on that a little bit more with you versus, I don't know. But again, he just started. And then also no homework ever.
Really?
They don't do homework.
They just don't do homework.
They don't do homework, which is awesome. They have like school projects occasionally, not so much probably
stuff that you'll be
kindergartners
working on at home.
But like, there's no busy work homework like we all had to do. Which
Damn,
is
that's
fucking
lit.
Awesome, yeah. They're like, we're gonna teach your kid at school. It's when they're out of school, we want their to be able to enjoy their lives. And then also the disciplinary policies are kind of crazy, and they're like tailored to your child also. And a lot of it, instead of like suspensions or detention, it's community service. And they have different like community service jobs like throughout, like a homeless shelter. But I can't remember exactly like
ranking up to like
what
the worst
consequences would get you which community service. But like
so if you have like a first level infraction, then you have to like go clean up a park or something.
Yeah. And it's kind of like
and then a second level, then you have to like maybe go deal with homeless, where people are more dirty and like trying to sell you drugs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Then third level, you have to go like
you have to
bathe the elderly or something like that.
There's some elderly involved, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But they're supposed to.
And fourth level, you have to fight.
Whatever the community service is that you have to do is supposed to be like geared towards correcting the mistake that you made. So I don't know how like say, you vandalized something, you would have to like go out and clean up graffiti or do something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, again,
it'd be the yin to the yang of whatever thing you did bad.
So that's kind of cool. And then, just, aside from that, I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll find out.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
I think that's
and he gets to wear a school uniform too, which like as a child I would have absolutely hated. I would have never wanted to wear a uniform, but as a parent, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is tight. Like it's an even playing field for all the kids. You know what I mean? Don't have to worry about having the trendy, cool clothes.
Yeah, and poor kids and shit like that.
Yeah, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah.
Everyone out there, you probably see it or you have it out there in the world. Your kids are starting school. Kids are going into kindergarten. They're going into first grade. Second grade.
Up until 12th grade even. And then some even into college if they make it that far.
I saw someone that was going into 12th grade.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
A senior year.
Yeah.
Were they a super senior going into 12th grade the second time around?
I don't think so.
Oh,
but I don't know if their parents would have necessarily like said that on the Facebook post.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a chance, I guess.
You probably want to keep that on the hush.
But yeah, school's starting and it's exciting, but we're not here to talk about school and why you put your kid in public school and not charter school.
Not really.
You should have chose the charter school. Definitely.
Yeah, well, you can't just go to it. You have to, it's not like a private school where you have to pay. It's basically like a lottery system. So, like everybody's welcome to apply, and basically they only have so many spots, and they decide them via like a drawing, a lottery.
Oh,
and like Max initially didn't get in, but there's like a waiting list, and he was pretty high on the waiting list.
One of the other kids
after a few
got
kids
sick or died or something.
Yeah, who knows? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually he was admitted, so that's pretty awesome. And then my other son, my younger son, he doesn't get in like just flat out get in because Max is in there, but he has like
a better chance.
Odds. Yes, yeah. So
they'll put his name in like 4 more times.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's lit. So I don't know why maybe you did put your kids on the list out there and they didn't make it. Then that is understandable. That also is going to suck or also be cool if one of your kids goes to charter school and the other one goes to public school and you get to see like the comparison.
Yeah, that might be unfortunate for one of the two, but
yeah, and it's also probably not that great to do a social experiment with your own children, but it would be fun,
Yeah, and another thing is, it's privately financed, so there's like a lot of fundraising that's done that I'm going to have to be involved in.
Oh yeah,
like that's how they get their money is through fundraising and grants and
from the parents. And if you want a higher chance of all your kids going there, you got to give money.
And then like we had to give like a whole bunch. They gave us a huge list of school supplies, not just the ones that like Max would need individually for him, but like like a bunch of stuff for like
to
all the
stock the school.
Yeah, for the whole class. So
they're all like, we need 14 boxes of crayons.
But it's cool, like I think it's probably the best way to go.
Yeah, I think so too. So we are getting very close to episode 700. We've had minimal reactions and interactions from you guys out there.
Yeah, we came at you. We came at you very calmly and just basically laid it out there for you. And we're not really feeling the love from you guys so much these days.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really doing a whole lot to further us. And just like any human, we have basic needs that we need to have met in order to continue providing you the weekly programming that we do. So we kind of laid it out, and I don't want to say we threatened anything. Nobody was threatening anyone.
No threats.
We let you know that there's a possibility that, we have to do what the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild is doing right now, and that's striking.
Yeah, and the strike is heating up. It's still going, and we think
no sign of it ending on their part. And I mean,
we think that I think that's what the writer's strike is actually about. It's about AI, Chat GPT, and comments.
Yeah, and it's also about streaming, residuals from streaming, because they don't get their royalties from TV so much anymore.
Yeah, but the main thing is comments. They want interaction.
Oh yeah. Sure. They want to praise. They want praise.
And that's what we want. So we might join that writer strike. Episode 700 could not happen.
Yeah, it's it's not really the ideal time for that to happen, because we're approaching
excited.
this huge milestone.
We got suits,
but at the same time, we're not gonna back down. And if our demands are not met, we could potentially, there could be no episode 700.
Yeah. We'll do 701. It'll be just a normal episode.
Reiterate that. Be sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, and all that jazz.
Burner accounts. Use separate
accounts. You can PayPal us.
Yeah. You do all that.
PayPal us some money. Cash App.
So, we actually do have an update before we get into today's topic, which is the musical career of Steven Seagal.
Yes.
We do have a update on the ICEE front.
The ICEE, positive news. Actually, great news, to be quite honest. After, several attempts to reach out to ICEE regarding this potential sponsorship with the ICEE Hope Foundation, and having to reach out to these hospitals that are in bed with the ICEE Hope Foundation, we finally were able to make contact with, some higher ups at ICEE.
And last week we had Natalie Coldwater reach out.
Yes, and that proved to be very effective. We're going to have to retain Natalie Coldwater's services in the future. But she issued a sternly worded, very professional sounding letter to the folks at ICEE. And within a day, was it within a day? Within a day, they had responded to us. And you know what? It was not a no.
No.
Not at all. Like, if anything, I'm feeling better about this deal going through now.
So they said, hello, comma. Space.
Yeah, and they didn't have to say hello. You know what I mean? Like, they could have just flipped. Yeah. So, like, the greeting, really, the greeting makes it feel like more personable and more warm.
Hello. Then they do, return. There's a big gap between where they start talking next. So it's a hello, pause. We're glad you think so highly of the ICEE brand.
And we really do. We've been drinking these things. I've got one right here.
We're still at it. This actually is only one ICEE point. Usually they're 25.
Yeah. There's a great differential in between the cup sizes and the ICEE points.
And that's our major thing is
that's something we can change. Yeah, that's something we can change. We can, have a talk with the folks at ICEE and get them to up the ICEE points on a 16 ounce to
I'm saying
at least
12.
10.
12%, which what you'll save at reliefy.com by using the code NHP.
Yes. We fought to get you that extra 2% from Reliefy, and we will fight to get you these extra ICEE points.
That's right. So ICEE said, hello, return. We're glad you think so highly of the ICEE brand. Thank you for your interest in partnering with us. Due to the number of requests, we cannot get back to all who send info.
Yes, but they're saying that, but then they're getting back to us.
Yeah, so they're basically they're getting flooded with requests.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We've got all these other jabroni podcasts and people that want to do business with us. It makes it hard for us to get back to them.
So our first message was ignored, and then the message from Natalie Coldwater, our attorney, was answered with this. Look, we're really sorry. We get a lot of requests. We can't get back to them all, but now we're getting back to you. And the info, I will pass it on for consideration.
Yeah, so they're basically going to take our proposal and they're going to put it on the flagpole, and then they're going to pull the flagpole, and it's going to rise all the way through the ranks of ICEE from marketing to PR to middle management to the CEO probably. And he's going to take it into consideration. So that's great news. We feel real good about it. I mean, I can only assume that the higher it gets as far as the ICEE chain of command, the more they're going to realize the potential value that we provide.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that we could probably go ahead and put in a call to the hospital. See if we have any updates.
Yeah.
What was it? The pediatric administrator?
something like that, and let them know that things are moving very fast with our partnership with ICEE. So we really need to get this information so we make sure that we're not being swindled or anything like that, and they're not being swindled.
Can I get the head of pediatric administrator, please?
What was her name? Barbara? I think it was Barbara.
Oh, fuck. We should have checked. We should have had this ready.
Yeah.
That would have made it so much better.
Just say, hey, you.
This is Pauline. Can I help you?
Hey, you. This is Michael from the NHP Foundation. I believe we spoke last week. It was about the ICEE machines, the ICEE Hope.
Yep.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You had a good week so far?
Busy.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not having a good week.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
So
what can I help you with?
Yeah, we were just calling to see if you had any updates on the purchasing or inheriting of the ICEE flavoring packets.
I don't have any information for you because I work nights, and that they don't really pass that kind of info on at night. It'd really be better to find out during the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the day for us, time change and stuff like that. But I just, I thought that when we had talked last week that you said that you were gonna, try to put your ear to the street. And I just
well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. At night shift, we don't do too much about that stuff.
Well, things are moving along really quick with ICEE, so we just want to make sure that they're on the up and up. Is all.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you.
Okay.
Because
all right. Well,
been so busy here that nobody's been able.
Yeah.
To do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I hope that I hope that everyone's okay, and we'll let you get back to work, and we'll talk next week. Okay. Have a good night.
Okay. All right. You too.
We'll talk next week. Are you having a good night? She said, "No, I'm not having a good night. Children are literally dying here. It's a terminally ill children's hospital."
Yeah, and I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
You got to make the best out of every situation. Think about like people that are like morticians and cops and doctors. They always have like really sick sense of humor because you have to like be desensitized to that. Otherwise, it'll fuck you up.
Absolutely.
Hopefully she's not getting like mentally destroyed by this.
And I mean, like I'm sure she gets a little hot-headed sometimes, so it's only natural that the coldest drink in town is going to be something that brings her back down to a manageable temperature.
So, she did say that we would talk next week, so hopefully we can.
Yeah, well, you said that, but I mean, she didn't.
She said okay.
She didn't argue. Yeah,
she said okay. She didn't argue.
I think after so long, they're gonna grow accustomed to your voice and really be looking forward to your calls to check in about the ICEE machine.
Yeah, I think so too. Next week we'll call. We'll make it all about her. Yeah. You know what I mean? We'll give her a week, and then the week after that, we'll ask about the ICEE machine.
And maybe we offer to send her some ICEE points.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. She could get it back. Yeah. So something that we have touched on a lot throughout the show's history is Steven Seagal.
Yeah. He's been, I wouldn't say friend of the show, but certainly a hot button topic.
I wouldn't say that.
We've dived into several times.
He's a staple in not only American culture, but Japanese culture.
Yeah. I mean,
Native American culture.
Pretty
Russian
much all
culture.
the cultures. He's like a multi-culture. He's like the melting pot of
He is
people.
a melting pot.
He's a walking meme, and typically he's, made fun of for, A, his acting or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
B, his martial arts skills. C, his, ballooning appearance that seems to be, really deteriorating. I'm going to say D, his goatee and hair that he's clearly dyeing and is just looking really, so there are all these things that we've been laughing at Steven Seagal for, his running like a girl. And, all this time, like we were completely overlooking like one of the biggest things that you can make fun of Steven Seagal for, and that is his attempted music career.
His music, yeah.
Yes.
So I want to say that I've seen clips here and there of Steven Seagal playing a guitar.
Yeah. Like I might have been vaguely aware that he played guitar or something like
Yeah,
that.
but
as
it's
far
like
as
it's like how you hear like Bruce Willis plays harmonica or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't mean that I know the name of his band or have listened to it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even if I had, I would have just assumed it to be just like, you know, like just regular shitty, not like remarkably shitty, noteworthy to where we could, dive into it on a podcast.
Yeah,
but
it's like a whole new level of cringe.
It turns out I saw a meme about it, and I decided to, look up this Steven Seagal music, and I stumbled on this album on Spotify, which you should all go check out. Like literally, I didn't think I was gonna make it through even like one or two songs. It turns out like this thing is like such a train wreck that I could not like tune out of it, and I ended up listening to every song on this album, which is, I mean, it's a wild ride.
It really is. It's called Songs from the Crystal Cave. This was released in 2005.
Yeah, and I mean, genre-wise, you can't really put a label on this thing. I mean, it's got elements of rock, country, dance hall, reggae, blues. I'm gonna say there's some kind of subtle hip hop elements in there a little bit, So,
but he actually put a label on it. There's a quote where allegedly he said that it can be described as outsider country meets world music meets Aikido.
Aikido is his martial art that he practices. Like how did those genres meet Aikido in this? I
didn't hear a lot of Aikido in the album.
Like you can't. I mean, unless there's just like some subtle like clips from. And isn't Aikido just kind of like a pretty silent like movement type deal? It's not really like
maybe you hear the
hard
ruffling
hitting like martial arts.
You hear like the ruffling of a gi, or maybe
so that might have been tossed in there, but it definitely wasn't the focal point of any of these songs. But It's 14 songs. In my opinion, like it starts out with the most palatable, and commercially viable song. And that's not to say it's a good song or anything that would be like a hit, but it relative to the rest of the album, which tends to just kind of veer off in a completely different direction. It's probably the best choice for his, single and his first song. He does have a music video to it. But after that, man, it kind of just, I mean, it's all over the place. And both musically, like sonically and lyrically, it's a wild ride.
So he like has been through so many ups and downs. Like I remember when I was a kid, Steven Seagal was like taken seriously by people.
I feel like that was like a very, very short time. And then like, I mean, he wasn't like a laughing stock quite yet, but like he definitely wasn't like a box office draw for more than like a year or two, and then he just started the quality and
but I don't mean like so much in culture and like represented and stuff like that. I just mean like in the home. So like my house, friends' houses. Steven Seagal was like when Under Siege was on, everyone would
that was his biggest movie. Right?
Take it hella seriously. They would all talk about how he does his own stunts. He was up there with like Jackie Chan and like Bruce Lee. That's how people saw him.
No, I don't think that was ever.
I think so.
You think he was up there with like serious martial artists? Like,
I don't think
in public perception.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, we were both very young, so I wasn't really gauging and reading the room on Steven Seagal too much, but that could be possible, at least for like a short window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what he did, whether it was the roles he was accepting or just, I mean, he's notoriously difficult to work with and just kind of a shitty person. Yeah. So that probably got around Hollywood. And
I think that he probably pulled a Nicolas Cage where like he would just do any movie that was given to him.
Yeah, and then eventually,
more and more ridiculous.
like he wasn't getting offered roles, so he just started like
making
these ridiculous these action movies with, I mean, the budgets just kind of plummeting.
And then he was known for like portraying different cultures all the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you hear interviews of this guy over the years, like it's almost like he's got a different accent, depending on.
And this is in real life, not
his
characters in movies.
Like He'll talk like a black person sometimes. He'll talk like an Asian sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be racist, but he's the racist, really. So, but yeah, I think just over the course of time, like he became taken, increasingly less serious to the point. And then there was also that Saturday Night Live episode that he hosted, which is like widely considered the worst episode of Saturday Night Live of all time. And it's
I remember that.
It's like scraped from the internet. You can only find like brief clips and shit. So,
you have to buy it from SNL on like NBC's website, their streaming service.
So I mean, there was a bit of a downfall, and by the time he put this album out, which was 2004, he was already, probably not very revered in Hollywood.
Yeah, he had to do something to try to like get a resurgence.
Yeah, this is like this album's definitely like a big vanity project. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe he was signed to a label, but I'm not sure that it was based on like the merit of his work or so much as his name value, probably.
Yeah.
What's impressive on this album is that, and I didn't know this until we were just doing a little bit of research, he's got Stevie Wonder playing harmonica on this.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most noteworthy thing about this, aside from just the batshit crazy lyrics. And then, he veers heavily into dance hall reggae, which is really, really strange.
Yeah, out of nowhere, it just takes a sharp turn.
Completely unexpected, yeah.
It's almost like a country rock type of thing, and then out of nowhere, it's fucking reggae.
And then it kind of bounces up and down, but really peaks towards the end in some dance hall reggae. And
not only is this like a reggae sounding song with who's this Lady Saw?
Yeah, he enlisted the help of Lady Saw, who's like apparently a Grammy award winning dancehall reggae singer.
The first female artist to go triple platinum.
Yeah, so she's quite successful in her field. He enlists her help on a number of songs, and I mean,
so it's not just a reggae sounding song with a dancehall reggae MC on it. He's also doing the like Mia Man with the Ole Island.
Yeah, he's singing and in some cases speaking in a Jamaican patois, which I mean is, in lack of better terms, definitely cultural appropriation.
Once again,
I mean, I guess Snow got away with it in the early 90s, so I guess maybe he was looking at that and being like, all right, like maybe Modest Yahoo got away with it, but Steven Seagal, like, I feel like he's more malicious in it, and he's more, disingenuous. And then, I mean, lyrically is really like what strikes me as the most crazy. We get some lyrics in some of these songs. Like there's the one about God where the chorus is, my God is better than yours. My God is bigger than your God. He's got like a blues song called Route 23, which, I mean, it's, seemingly from the perspective of like an old Southern blues person, and I don't think he ever lived that sort of life. Like my daddy was a coal miner, and just a bunch of, I mean, he's kind of appropriating someone else's life story there.
So let's go through these lyrics for My God.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you fear me? You can't stand to be near me. Well, I come from a different place. My philosophy's from outer space." And so you could tell that he wrote these lyrics.
Yeah.
He didn't like find a writer or hire someone that would like make his.
At least on a number of these. There's some of them where I'm kind of on the fence. Like maybe he just like stole this lyric.
Now, in a later episode, we will get into his second album. Don't listen ahead. Okay.
Yeah, start with this album.
This album. Don't listen to Mojo.
Start with
Mojo Priest.
Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Songs from the Crystal Cave. Stay away from Mojo Priest until we get to that.
Yes.
But when we get into that, he stole most of that album.
Yeah, definitely blatantly. Some of the riffs and this one is.
This is all him.
So yeah, and
So my philosophy is from outer space. My religion is strange. I think it's because you fear change.
Yeah, a lot of these songs are very accusatory, where he's basically pinning, like something on the listener, or just pointing fingers at people.
He's towering because he's like 6'4", right?
I don't know.
Computer, how tall is Steven Seagal?
6'4".
Damn,
wow, he's taller than I am. Yeah, I don't like it when people are taller than
That's what I said. I was right.
He's a monster, basically. So, but he's definitely some of these lyrics are pretty aggressive.
Let's see. So we're
Don't think I'm going away. You best believe I'm here to stay, because my God is better than your God. Maybe you don't like my skin or what I believe in. You don't like my prayer. You don't like the clothes I wear. How many people have to die for what one man might think is right? The true path is like more than one. Why do you force your will with a gun? Let's start another holy war, and I'll show you what I'm killing for. My God is better than your God. My God is bigger than yours.
Bigger.
My God is better than your God. My God is bigger than yours.
Well, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Buddhist. I'm a Hindu. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Jew. Everything you fear in me is a part of you.
So is he basically saying that like he said he's practices all religions?
Yeah.
And that therefore
much like he appropriates all
he's
cultures.
like, you know what? Like I practice all these religions. I'm good one way or another, no matter which God is the correct one. I'm in. I'm going to the afterlife. I'm going to heaven or Shangri-La or whatever.
Now this one, computer, play Strut by Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah, Strut is. This is probably the most memed one. So that's Lady Saw.
Okay. So Lady Saw. Okay. What the banana? So this is what the shit sound. Computer, stop.
So like we'll read those lyrics
computer,
actually.
Stop.
Girl, really, what do you really want all night? Me want the buddy, make me feel nice. Boy, what do you really want all night? Me want the punani.
Me want the punani.
C for make nice.
C for make nice.
She want the buddy, him want the punani, and me know it nice. And he's not Jamaican, so for him to be speaking like, I guess the broken Jamaican language.
You can see that we're not joking. We're not saying like, oh, he does a Jamaican voice kinda, because there was a video where he did an interview and he did a Asian accent, but it was like, you see, like it was subtle, but enough to where it was like, obviously you're putting a little Asian
and you
flair
can only
on it.
presume now that he's like a Russian citizen. He's got like a full on like fucking commie.
So this is like the Jamaican version of if he would have done that interview to do like a full on stereotypical Chinese voice.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he's full. Not
even just the voice, the writing. Like he continues with, when the girls start to strut, you could look at her butt. you shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't do that.
About just that, because her clothes are just as pretty. They're not just there to cover her kitty. And then the chorus was the punani thing. So like this song's basically about punani.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really wild thing that I never realized is that Steven Seagal had a reggae song about punani.
Then he says, "Baby, the way you walk is so hot. Let's have a shot of rum, and then I can make you come with me to the ocean. That would be fat.
PHAT.
PHAT.
You can be my bowcat. Nice idle breeze." Bring you to your knees. And then he, in the cadence of Bob Marley, he closes the second verse with "We're jamming."
We're jamming.
So, I mean, really just a tour de force of cultural appropriation.
And doesn't this album cover also kind of remind you of a Bob Marley album cover? Like it has the same kind of...
I mean, that could have been what he's going for. It's basically a close-up of his face and him straddling a guitar next to his face.
And that's another thing when you look at any of his videos or his live performances, he holds the guitar very weird. And there's these, what we think are propaganda channels.
Yeah, that all seem to just be posting like positive commentary on Steven Seagal's guitar playing abilities and just really strange things that I can't imagine.
There's like this guy and it's like, Steven plays guitar. And he's like a guy and he's answering the internet's questions and playing guitars. And he's like, Steven Seagal, I listened to his album and the way that he plays, it looks so hard. Like it looks so easy, but it's so actually complex. Hard.
And then it shows like a strange...
a tweet from that guy.
A different guy. It was a different guy. And it said, Steven Seagal, you taught me everything I know about playing guitar. Thank you so much. You're like a musical genius or something.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean.
Nobody said that.
There's no intended irony here. You know what I mean? Like that's completely earnest. So it makes you wonder, based on how much Steven Seagal is known to love himself and his work, that if he's got these burner accounts that he's posting this. But this song, I mean, we're not going to get into every lyric in every song, but I mean, like Lollipop, Not for Sale. There's pretty much every song on this album is like worth listening to in the sense that like you expect it to be like, all right, he's going to chill now. You know what I mean? There's no chill after that first song.
No.
And it just progressively gets more intense. He's got a song called Not for Sale, where he's just basically like blaming jealousy. Jealousy is the one where he's just like blaming the media, basically. Like he's blaming the decline of his career on people being jealous of him and spreading rumors about him. And
so this says jealousy, treachery, those who want to be, jealousy, treachery, or what they cannot be. Those who think they see what they cannot see, jealousy, treachery, jealousy, treachery.
But then he goes, with the messiest shit you ever heard, I could trash your lip, mutate you, you might lose your wife, I might destroy your life. Maybe I could sell you some trash. I mean, spread a rumor.
And I ruin your job and your life.
Yeah, and then like there's like clips like of like tabloid people like talking to him, like being like, and then he's replying to them in the song.
This is how it would be if you could, and if you can't have it, no one else should.
Did you say celluloid? Maybe I could sell you some trash to the tabloids. You're like a hungry ghost. The more you eat, the hungrier you will be.
The hungrier ghost, the more you feed.
They have like the paparazzi guy. He has that line, hey man, this is freedom of the press. And then Steven Seagal replies with, scroll down. So, hey man, this is freedom of the press. Who you mean feeding the fuckers for free? Hey man, this is our constitution. And you follow the 5th fucking amendment. You turn this piece of paper into a weapon of mass destruction of our forefathers. I mean, just wild stuff.
So did this album have a parental advisory sticker?
I mean, it very well should have.
Was him doing the Fs?
I don't know that probably anybody, like no children listen to this album. You know what I mean? Like this is probably safe to say that probably no children.
I don't think very few people listen to this album.
Yeah.
Let alone children.
I don't think that this album was particularly commercially successful or well received. I think most of the reviews have this album, between like 2 to 3 stars out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's
Tony Rebel was credited for rap.
Oh, see, there is rap on there then.
Yeah.
I wonder which
rap. And it just gives me the Wikipedia for rap.
Yeah, picture of 50 Cent. That's funny. But yeah, man, this is wild stuff.
Yeah.
I think you guys should all seek this out.
Yeah, we can't play any of it here. Obviously, we'll get pulled off of YouTube, but we gave you that clip so you know that it actually is crazy.
It's a real thing. Now,
spend some time with it.
Again, there is more Steven Seagal music out there.
Don't listen to Mojo
This is where
Priest.
You need to start. You need to start
here.
We'll get into Mojo Priest on another day.
Yeah, don't do that. Wait for the rest of the class. Seriously.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, we do have some unfortunate news.
Oh yeah.
Longtime enemy of the show. Enemy of us, of your mayoral campaigan, of the citizens.
Like in lieu of what's happened, I don't want to call him
maybe not enemy.
He was more at a period of my life. Yeah, he was my adversary when I was running for office in Paso Robles, and it was never personal.
No.
Like I may have taken some seemingly personal shots, but really, I mean, that's politics for you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was running for mayor, I was running against the incumbent mayor of our city, Steve Martin. Not that Steve Martin,
not the famous one.
Another Steve Martin, who was by all accounts is a decent man, and he maybe wasn't the best mayor, but nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And he handled my attacks very gracefully. I didn't win the election, but he
was classy.
Yeah, you could say he was classy. And he was a podcaster. He was a DJ. He had, a lot of things that he did that we both do. You know what I mean? We had
a lot of similarities.
Yeah, a lot in common. And, he won re-election and is, or at least until very recently was our active mayor, but he, apparently had a, battle with cancer, which he wasn't really disclosing to anybody. So it kind of came as a surprise to pretty much everybody in our community when he recently passed away.
Yeah. And, I was just talking about how that happened with like Norm Macdonald. He had cancer and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, a lot of people, they want
Chadwick Boseman did the same thing.
They don't want the sympathy. They don't want to, like they want to enjoy their time and not be.
They don't want their
treated
last months or years to be
it's unfortunate
all about their cancer.
That he wasn't able to beat that, and he did succumb to it. But I just want to say that Steve Martin, you were a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
And
worthy opponent.
Cheers to you. Now,
cheers.
I don't know what's going to happen with the mayoral thing in Paso Robles now. That's obviously, unfortunately going to leave a vacant position. And, I've moved on with my life. I've got kids now. I don't have as much time as I used to, but at the same time, an
opportunity like this only comes once in a lifetime.
I have a feeling that there's going to be some real low lifes trying to slide up in there. And, I almost feel like a sense of duty to make sure that Steve Martin, not Steven Seagal, Steve Martin, he doesn't get replaced by some just creep. So, I don't know. I'm going to do my research, and, I'm not officially throwing my name in the hat yet, but we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. So we're the opponent, Steve Martin. You are
R.I.P. Steve Martin. Not that Steve Martin, not the one from the movies, but the mayor of Paso.
Steve Martin is still alive, right?
I mean,
is Steve Martin alive?
At the rate that these Steve Martins are falling,
Martin is still alive. He is 78 years old.
Yeah, so he's probably doesn't have much time left either. So,
or was Computer talking about our Steve Martin?
No, I think not that Steve Martin, but
probably
the movie star.
Well, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Steve Martin from Paso, and
we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Natural Habitat Recordings.